Happy Monday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
And for Xander Schauffele.
Yes! What a moment yesterday. Most shows get requests to do, play songs or, do something else. I just get requested to scream. So I got to do 2 this morning for each win. Yeah? Is that how it works? Yeah!
All right, you're done.
I'm going to keep my pipes in order.
That hurts my throat.
I know. That was great, man. What a great weekend. What a great weekend all around. It was phenomenal. Welcome in, everybody. Let's get our heads right on a Monday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. The printer is broken here. It's not working at the Odyssey Empire right now, so hopefully somebody can get on that. I just feel so naked, Paulie, when we don't have the actual thing. It's right here in front of me. I've got the rundown, and
I got a great digital copy.
I can read
available
it.
for you
every
every morning.
Absolutely beautiful. That being said, I need it in my hand. It's just a weird thing. It's like, I don't know. I just feel lost without it. It's very strange. So listen, hey. Not going to hear me complain, though. We only have a 2-hour and 15-minute show today, which is it's thievery. I feel like a big, fat thief.
And then
right
we have
now.
2 Padres games to watch today.
Oh, what a day indeed. What a day indeed. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning to you, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning, and before I do anything else, I would like to wish my eldest son, Jack, a happy 21st birthday today.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
20 friggin' 1.
I have a legal drinker in my house now.
Finally. Holy cow, man. 21. Time flies, huh?
It does.
Well,
it's hard to imagine. I mean, I still picture them as the little tiny kids like yours, but now they can go out and pretty much do whatever they want. Other than rent a car, they can pretty much do whatever they want.
TJ says it's her son's birthday as well, I think. It's happy birthday to your son, TJ. I had that same thing on Friday night as we did the whole, we got the kids' new bedroom furniture, and Taylor's out of his crib, and I had to disassemble the crib last night. I remember vividly putting it together. Well, all right, I lied. A handyman came over years ago.
You vividly remember paying.
I vividly remember paying a handyman to do it. Here's the funny part. He put it together in the living room. It was like, see you later. Couldn't get it in his bedroom. So I'm like, no! So I had to cold go in, take it apart, put it in Taylor's room, and put it together. So I ended up actually assembling this thing, right? So I had to do the same thing in his bedroom, take it apart, pulled it all out. We had to move all of Bo's furniture out of his room, all of Taylor's out of his room, get everything dialed in. But I was unscrewing it and putting it outside for somebody to come pick up for their baby, and I was a wreck. I thought to myself, he's out of his crib. Like, my little baby is going to have his own big boy bed. So we spent our entire Friday night and most of the day Saturday getting everything dialed in. They brought the furniture, put it together in the kids' rooms, and we decorated the rooms. We put the sheets and stuff on the bed. Bo has a MLB theme on his bed, tucked the Dodgers way down, and it's on the bedspread. Now
all the teams on the bedspread?
All the teams on the bedspread. Now, the bummer is it goes Padres, Dodgers right under it. So the Pods and Dodgers are kind of wedged down into the side. It's like, we're not repping our home team, but we did get a throw pillow with SD on it, so that's front and center. We put all his.
Can't someone just crochet a different team on there? Just take the one out, put the one in?
I told Hannah, I go, what are our options here? She goes, I got a patch, but I don't know what we should do with it. I was like, look, generational haters raising generational haters. That's just good breeding right there. But so we got him all dialed in. Taylor's is full Spider-Man. So when they showed up on Saturday and ran into their rooms, they were elated. They couldn't have been happier. They're little big boys, So it was really it was a real special.
You're not making
moment
them
too.
share a room. I had to share a room growing up.
Not yet. I don't know that we'll do that. I I don't know that I want them in the same room. Just talking
Give them the
all
space.
night.
Give them their own rooms.
Yeah, we have the space, and I don't need Hannah and I share an office, so I have plenty of space. Everything's cool in our house. It was a big weekend for the Ben & Woods program. Your son turned 21 today.
Today is his birthday, and then on Saturday I was chauffeur. My other son went to prom, so I drove him and his date down to the USS Midway where the prom was held, and then went back and picked him up later that night. I think that went well. I tried to.
Yeah, you
Not say too
don't
much.
Ask, don't ask, don't tell.
Try not to pry too much on prom night. So, yeah, I had a busy weekend.
And then Paulie got himself a new whip over the weekend. So that was a big moment for you.
Yeah, got the new car. Spent all day Saturday figuring that out, which was not fun, but honestly about as painless as it could have gotten.
That's good.
I mean, I've only bought a car off a dealership one other time. I want to say I got there around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I did not get home until like 9 or 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It took forever. And for whatever reason, the people at Honda this time, I showed up at 1 o'clock to check out the vehicle, and I was home by 6.
Driving out in a new whip.
6:30.
Feels good.
Wasn't bad at all. Got really lucky. We didn't know this was a thing until like Friday night, but Costco, if you're a Costco member, has a car purchasing program where they will help kind of find you the car that you're looking for. Got a nice little discount, literally just right off the top, just for being a Costco member.
So it's okay when Paul gets a car at Costco, but I want to get some jeans there, and I never hear the end of it.
I didn't get the car at Costco.
It's crazy that all the stuff. I have open heart surgery scheduled from Costco.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, I've got the
show that card.
I've
You
got
get
it on-
$20 off.
It's executive membership. Hannah always wonders why I get the executive.
That's what we got.
It's because I'm going to get open heart surgery at an actual Costco through them in just a couple years. So
I think we bought our Costco memberships a month ago. We bought the executive. I think it's like $120 a year. Paid for 10 years just by get the discount that we got.
Would it surprise you one day to walk into Costco and there are men getting vasectomies in the aisles of
the pharmacy
Costco?
section back there? Yeah. Well, I mean,
They're
you get an
just-
optometrist in there already. I mean, we're halfway
100%.
there.
There's you can buy tires. You can get. There's nothing in there you can't get. So, get your vasectomy at Costco. ASAP. It was an awesome weekend of baseball. Obviously, it was an awesome weekend of golf. One of the best that you've seen in forever. It's just how you want to draw up a major championship. Came down to the wire yesterday.
I was so nervous for Xander coming down those last couple of holes.
It was gut wrenching. It was gut wrenching, and my hands were shaking. I mean, watching this thing, and it was incredible. It was incredible. Congratulations to Aztec for Life Xander Schauffele winning his first major and getting that just huge monkey off his back. Can't say it about me anymore. I can win a major, so suck it, everyone. That's the mentality of after so many chances. So we'll talk about that today. We'll of course talk about our Padres and the response that they showed and the resolve that they showed these first 2 games in Atlanta. I thought it was a really nice bounce back for them. Tier 1 baseball team got another dub yesterday. Felt real good to get out there, get some knocks, have some fun with the boys.
Are you in first place now?
I think we are percentage points in second place. Somebody got a tie, and they're ahead of us. But we'll have a matchup with them.
Baseball-like.
Yeah, very big. It's adult league-like. You never know what you're going to find in adult league. But it was a great day. It's a great weekend. It was a really great weekend. So everyone's in a good mood today. We got a short show. You're going to get a very tiny amount of Ben & Woods this morning. So we will do our best to make it entertaining and
Savor
fun.
each morsel.
Yeah, yes.
Because
That's another word I hate. We were just talking about words that I hate.
we know you don't like moist.
Moist, nobody does.
We just learned you don't like morsel.
Correct.
And earlier this morning I found out that he also doesn't like the word patty.
Hate the word
as in
patty.
Burger patty.
Hannah is ripping me in the chat saying that I like to get new AirPods every week. I've had the same AirPods for months. Now that you've jinxed it, though, I will lose them this afternoon. No, patty is definitely a word that I can't stand. Like, hey, what are you making for dinner? Oh, turkey burger patties. I'm out. If you just said turkey burgers, I can eat them. I'll eat a stack of them like pancakes.
Yeah, but that you say patty to indicate we're not eating a bun with them.
Correct.
Otherwise, a turkey burger, the implication there is that it's something on a
The whole
bun.
burger.
What do you make?
The whole thing.
Hamburger patties. All right. That's it for me. I'll just order something else from somewhere.
What if she called them pucks of meat?
Pucks of meat is way better. Meat pucks.
Better.
Yeah, meat pucks. I'll make meat pucks for dinner. But no, where do you guys want to start today? Let's start with the. You want to start with the San Diego Padres? You want to start with Xander Schauffele?
Let's start with Xander Schauffele.
Shocker.
And talk about golf. Because
You just failed the test.
Did I?
No, I'm just joking. Just
because we've got our Padres wrap-up coming up at the bottom of the hour. It's sponsored and everything. We got all the highlights
I put
coming together.
PGA at 9:20 on the rundown.
Oh, there's no 9:20 on the rundown today.
I'll have to get to it tomorrow.
Doesn't work. There's really not a ton you have to say. He led after the first round.
Yeah.
Led after the second round. Tied for the lead after the third round. And won with a 65 on the final day. Xander played fantastic golf all weekend long. It was a really good tournament. Bryson DeChambeau made a heck of a run. No bogeys on the final day for a 64 to make things as stressful and difficult for Xander as possible. I think the only question that remains is, had Scottie Scheffler not gotten arrested on Friday, and clearly by Saturday looked like he was kind of feeling exhausted just from everything that had happened to him, and he shot his only over par round of the year with a 74.
Crazy.
Had he just had a normal week, would Scottie Scheffler have been right up there? Could he have won this tournament? The hottest golfer in the world kind of got taken out a little bit. Even though he played great the morning he was in jail, the next day he was clearly feeling the after effects. He kind of admitted as much.
Kind of riding the adrenaline.
Just why? Yeah, he was riding the adrenaline on Friday, but by Saturday he was wiped. Came back yesterday, had a good round again. It was just that one day that kind of torpedoed his chance for a second straight major. Xander will take it. He's had so many close calls, guys who have, last week he had a guy who just outplayed him down the stretch with a win. He's had, FedEx Cup wins, but that doesn't count because he started further behind in the last tournament of the year. Lots of opportunities. Has 12 top tens in majors going into this week without winning. Finally gets that first one. I think it's very deserved. He's a good guy. I've had a chance to talk to him a couple of times. Had him on before.
Great dude.
And really happy for him and excited to see what this can turn into. He's already top now 2 in the world.
Yeah.
I think number 2 with the win. So
it's just a matter of getting it's like, making the World Series every year, and you just can't seem to win it, and that's Xander, man. He's always in the hunt. He's a very safe bet if you were betting on golfers like you bet on horses, win, place, or show, he's a great one. He's absolutely, and he's going to place or show, right? He's rarely going to win. For him to go out and do that yesterday with guys just breathing down his neck, and again, really good players. Bryson playing a whole different course than everybody else because he's so long. And then his putter working really well. For Xander to just be steady, get that birdie when he needed it, man, he got close. He got really close to choking it away there at the end with an errant tee shot on 18, having a really weird stance in the sand, getting every inch, every millimeter of that ball to lay it up there in front of the green, and then the chip that put him in position to win.
The last two on 17 and 18, needing to get up and down both of those holes. Neither of them like unusual, but under the pressure circumstances, knowing how difficult it can be to have touch and feel around the greens as a golfer, knowing that is such a hard thing to do for him to calm his nerves.
Just hit your shot.
Be in the moment. Just hit the shot that you've hit 1,000,000 times before in your life. Get both of those up and down to win your first major. Just hats off to Xander Schauffele this morning.
Am I the only one that weeps every time somebody wins a golf tournament? Because every time someone wins a tourney, especially like that, and they find their wife or they find their dad, I'm just a blubbering mess. And it's usually only after, like if I watch the Rays win the World Series, I'm not going to cry. When I watch a guy win a golf tournament, every single time when he gets his wife, usually brings his kid out to him, and the dad is there, he's all fired up. I'm a blubbering mess after every tournament I watch. If I watch the last, if it comes down to a really close match like that, I lose it every
And Xander
time.
had a lot of support there. His wife, a lot of friends, a lot of Callaway people were there. I thought it was ironic, though, that the two that were always there for most of the chances where he came short, his mom and dad. Weren't there. Mom was back in San Diego. He said dad was in Hawaii. He called him right away. They both started basically crying on the phone.
He said he had to get off the phone. He said, my dad was weeping so much, I started to weep. I go, I got to go back out there. I cannot leave in this position. But his dad, His dad is, the guy that coached him along his entire life. We've all heard the stories about the driving range. He set up in the garage and how he was like, look, man. And they talked about it on the broadcast. Like, you're an underdog. No one's ever going to give you anything. You got to grind for it. And boy, did he ever. So kudos to him.
Yeah, keep in mind that when Xander was growing up, junior golf, he was a great player as he was at San Diego State. But he was never a future superstar in the making. He wasn't even the top player on his San Diego State golf team. He was just a good, solid player who has turned himself on the next level, on the professional level, into one of the best players in the sport. And that's really tough to do. Shows his dedication, just shows his work ethic, I think. And finally, the long-awaited reward for Xander Schauffele yesterday
what a load
at the
off.
PGA Championship.
What a load off for him. Congratulations, Xander.
All right, we can set that aside for now. Take our first break. Come back. We do have Padres talk on the way after, as you said, a response. You can't change what happened against the Rockies last week.
Can't do a damn thing about it, man.
But you certainly can respond, and the Padres did so in their 2 opportunities this weekend against the Atlanta Braves. We'll get into all of that, set the menu. When we come back, again, short show. We're already down to the last 2 hours here, inside of 2 hours into Sammy's Eco Water SoCal pregame show for Game 1 of the doubleheader coming up. Paul Reindl, Stephen Woods, Ben Higgins will be back after Kelly Danick's check of traffic on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on Ben and Woods is brought to you by Prize Picks. Join the biggest moments in sports with Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Not going to take a ton of time setting the menu. We've got a very limited menu on offer today. Just the chef's special,
What do
pretty
they
much.
call those?
This is like a soft open for a restaurant.
Yeah, it's not the full gamut. This is not the Cheesecake Factory of sports shows this morning.
That novel of a menu.
You have like 3 things to choose from this morning.
That's
pretty
it.
much.
Yeah, we've got a couple of Padres games to talk about, including yesterday's Sunday night baseball win over the Atlanta Braves. We have Take on Woods at 7 o'clock. We'll try to give away a trip to Las Vegas, or at least qualify one of the Tier 1s for a trip to Las Vegas. A couple of don't and do this stories. And then at 8 o'clock, we will wrap things up and turn it over to Sam Levitt for the first of 2 Eco Water SoCal pregame shows from 8:20 to 9:20. And then Padres baseball game 1 of the doubleheader as the Padres wrap up their 4-game series against the Atlanta Braves today with 2 games. It's the old split doubleheader, so you have to have 2 tickets to go to both games. You leave, you have to come back in. Second game will be at 3:20.
Do they have non-split doubleheaders anymore?
I don't think
that's a thing.
Is it not a thing at all?
Occasionally, you'll see them,
The
but
2 for 1, you get 1 ticket and you go to both.
yeah,
I don't
you
think
know
that's
why?
a thing
You know why
anymore.
they don't do that? Because they want to sell
Money.
2 tickets for money.
Of course.
If they play 2 games and only charge 1 ticket, well, they're basically losing an entire game's revenue out of their 81 home games that season. So even if it's a small crowd, they'd rather have it shuffled out and shuffled back in later, which is, by the way,
Like prior to a split doubleheader, didn't they used to be like almost back to back?
yeah, there was 25 minutes or something
right.
between games. And then they
Which,
just
by the
start
way,
again.
the players would sign up for today, right now.
They also probably would sign up for the old pandemic 7-inning,
100%.
doubleheader game.
As would I.
I think they still should do
As
that.
would I right now. As would I.
But these are
Going
both
into-
9-inning games today.
Going into another, getting on a plane, going to Cincinnati after this, having to figure it out. Yeah, man. Sign me up.
It's turned into a slog, though, because 2 games today on a flight, Cincinnati. You got to play tomorrow.
Yep.
You figure your bullpen's going to be on fumes, no matter, even if it goes well for the starting pitchers today, you're going to have to use at least 4 or 5 relievers, if not everybody in your bullpen today, which puts you in a tougher spot tomorrow when Joe Musgrove comes off the injured list, and he'll almost certainly be on a pitch count like Yu Darvish was when he came off the injured list, which means you're going to need bullpen guys tomorrow. And it's not like there's another off day coming either. This is 12 games in 11 days now for your San Diego Padres, starting with today's doubleheader. No off day this week. They'll play 3 against the Reds, right back home for 3 against the Yankees on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is the tough stretch for the Padres on the schedule. Fortunately, they were able to get a couple of wins going into that stretch to put them in a good spot where even a split today, and you've got Dylan Cease on the mound for game 1. Even a split today, you feel really good about taking 3 out of 4 against the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive. I mean, to win last night and at least guarantee you a split on the road is fine. It's absolutely fine, especially against a team like the Atlanta Braves. Now, I'll be disappointed with a split after you win the first 2, certainly. And listen, you do feel. Let's not try to prognosticate what's going to happen. Oh, well, Dylan Cease will definitely get that win, and then Chris Sale will definitely beat us. We just beat Max Fried with Matt Waldron on the mound on Friday night. Nobody knows anything. I don't know. Ben doesn't know. Paul doesn't know. You don't know out there. Nothing is shocking
Well,
with this team.
baseball is always like that, but the Padres are multiplied by 100.
By 100.
The Padres are 24-24. There's lots of 500 teams in the history of baseball.
Not like this one.
Usually, 500 teams do well against the poor teams, not so well against the good teams, and they end up around 500 because they're a mediocre team. The Padres have been the exact opposite. They're good against the good teams, bad against the bad teams, good on the road, bad at home.
Buddy,
everything we know about baseball is turned upside down for these San Diego Padres through 48 games this year.
Buddy, they're going to make a 30 for 30 about this era of Padres baseball. We better be featured in it also because we are the ones having to talk about it and then try to make sense of it every single day. You cannot make sense of it. There is no reason after getting swept by the Rockies that you should go in and beat Max Fried on Friday night with Matt Waldron on the mound. There's just no reason for it at all.
It's just such a weird team.
It's the strangest. So again, if today Dylan Cease gets rocked and Randy Vasquez finds something and we beat Chris Sale, is it really going to surprise anyone in our audience at all? I maybe 3 weeks ago would have said, oh yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Now I look at it and go, very, very, very possible. Very, very feasible, if not probable, at this point for the San Diego Padres.
This is crazy. I'm looking back through the schedule so far. Because sometimes you say, well, they beat the good teams and they lose to the bad teams. I'm going to quickly run through it. Dodgers, they split the two against the Dodgers. They lost a series to the Giants, who are below 500. Lost a series to the Cardinals, who are below 500. Lost a series to the Giants, who are below 500. Beat the Cubs, who are above 500. Beat the Dodgers, who are above 500. Beat the Brewers, who are above 500. Lost a series to Toronto, who's below 500. Split with the Rockies, who are below 500. Swept by the Phillies. They're good.
They're good.
Actually, that one actually made some sense. Beat the Reds 2 out of 3. They are under 500. Beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 2 out of 3. They're under 500. Beat the Cubs, who are over 500. Beat the Dodgers, who are over 500. Lost to the Rockies, who are under 500. And now beating the Braves, who are over 500. It's almost consistently without fail. The Padres have played well against the better teams and worse against the lesser teams this year.
And like we talked about it last week, are they a good team that's underperforming, or are they a bad team that's overperforming? And then you look at the record every week or whatever. They are a 500 team.
500 team right now.
They're a 500 team.
500 team.
They're the weirdest 500 team I think I've ever seen.
They are the number one most odd 500 team of all time.
All right, we will come back and we'll go through yesterday's game. It was a good one, no doubt about it. Sunday night national television. Padres put their best foot forward on ESPN last night. We'll go through the highlights and talk about the win next with our Padres wrap-up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Already spotted Sammy Levitt getting ready for the first of 2 EcoWater SoCal pregame shows. It is less than 2 hours away. We've got a doubleheader of Padres baseball for you today here on 97.3 The Fan, which means we have only limited time on Ben and Woods to discuss what happened over the weekend. So we'll check traffic with Kelly Danick and we can come back with our Padres wrap-up of last night's win at Truist Park in Atlanta next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the Fish Market, serving the freshest catches from waters near, far, and everywhere in between. Couple of problems along the 15 in the North County. One is a crash on the southbound side before the 56. It's over to the right shoulder. And our Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a stalled vehicle partially blocking the Miramar Way off-ramp of northbound 15. Fresh, wild Alaskan halibut season is in full swing. Enjoy it perfectly grilled at the Fish Market, and then grab an extra piece to cook yourself from the market on your way out. The Fish Market, with locations downtown and Del Mar. The Fish Market, serving and offering only the freshest catches. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah!
It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah! Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
Here's the 1-2. That's it in the air, deep down the right field line. You want an extra base hit? You got it. 2-run, home run, Jake Cronenworth. Padres take a 2-0 lead on Elder and the Braves here in the top of the first inning. And Cronenworth, who had 3 hits on Friday night, homers in his first at-bat here tonight. Elder continues to work to Merrill, and a line drive base hit into right field. Manny is rounding third on his way. Acuna's throw comes through, not in time. RBI single Jackson Merrill. A 3-0 Padre lead in the first, and now 4 straight 2-out hits. 2-2 to Tatis. Here's the pitch from Elder. And Fernando hits it in the air to right again. Deep again. Acuna back to watch. It'll hit off the padded wall. Kind of die right in front of the warning track. 1 run has scored. 2nd run coming. Throw to the plate. And in time, a rise is called out. Kim crossed the plate, so the Padres take a 4-0 lead. And we'll see if Mike Schilt wants to challenge whether or not Arise was able to score from first base or not.
After review, the ball is overturned. The runner is safe. San Diego keep their challenge.
And the nightmare continues here for Bryce Elder in the 4th inning. Elder comes set, not long for this night. Profar swings, lines it over Olsen. That's a fair ball down the line, going to go into the corner. Tatis will walk home. Profar's at second, thinking 3. Now he'll pull up. An RBI double for Jurickson Profar, and a 6-0 Padre lead in the 4th. Here's the 1-1. Campusano hammers it in the air, deep down the left field line. It is hooking and fair. That's a home run. A line shot right inside the pole, and Campusano back home in Georgia. It's his 4th home run of the season. It is an 8-0 game here in the 5th inning. Kim launches this one to left field. Kelnick racing straight back. He will twist, he will turn, he will watch, and a home run. Kim dunks that one into the first row, his 2nd hit of the night, his 6th home run of the season, and a solo shot here in the 7th makes the Padre lead 9-0. 1-0 the pitch. Arcia hits it slowly on the ground to the left side. Kim gets in front of it, sets his feet, throws to first in time, and another 1-2-3 inning for Yu Darvish. 7 more shutout innings. He has retired 13 in a row. Runner at second, 1 away. Another 0-2 and a line drive over the head of Solano into left field, base hit. Zokar will backhand it. There will be no shutout as Trump comes in to score. And an RBI single for Ozzie Albies cracks open the run column for the Braves. It's 9-1 here in the bottom of the 9th. Here's the 2-2. Ozuna hits a slow grounder to third, charged by Solano. To second, that's 1. Turn from Arise is in time, and a double play to end the game. Pods make it 2 straight here in Atlanta. A 9-1 win tonight as Yu Darvish wins for the 200th time in his professional career.
I thought it was representative of a lot of the innings we've had, and I thought it was representative of, first inning was fantastic, but right into the second, we couldn't score in the second. And then they just kept coming the rest of the game. Rise continues to be the table setter. I love Toddy's at bat, even in the at bat he flew out, he's moving a runner, and then the next time he drives the ball off the wall to help open the game up. And of course, Pro takes more good at bats, and Campy and Kimmy put some swings, and Bogey took some really good swings. The hard hit baseball to left, the sac fly to left that Kalinick made a nice play on, then he had a rope to left the last at bat, so he's in a good place as well. And let's appreciate Manny's play early in the game. He dives on Arcia's ball down the line, keeps it from being a double. Next thing you know, he turns a nice double play on Kalinick and gets a clean inning. So just good baseball.
Damn good baseball. Damn good baseball on Sunday Night Baseball last night. And you could actually hear Ravitch and who's the other one? Perez?
David Cone and
Eduardo
Perez.
You could hear them crumple up their plans to just rip the Padres all night. And they had to pivot in the moment and actually be positive. It was actually jarring to hear on a Sunday night broadcast with the San Diego Padres. Ravitch tried early.
They went to that Luis Arraez well.
They did. They went to the Luis Arraez well.
Of times.
Also the Ozzie Albies koi fish pond.
They went to that well.
He's
a great dude. Ozzie is a great guy.
I love Luis Arraez. I'm glad he's here. Glad he's a Padre. But it was like that same pregame interview that Perez did with him. They just kept going back to that same.
Kept going back to the fish well.
All right, we get it.
But it was interesting too because Ravitch was talking about the parallels of the Braves and the Padres and how, when is it time to get going? We asked Mike Schilt, when is it time to get going for this team? They're a 500 baseball team, and he did say, well, this time last year they were blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, but they cut $92 million off the payroll from year to year. So I don't know that you can really accurately compare the two teams, Carl. Right? Does that make sense? I mean, yes, the records are somewhat similar. Actually, better record at this time this year than last year after cutting, 3 of the Miami Marlins payroll in its entirety. So look, for a 500 ball club, I continue to stand on the business that this is a more entertaining product, albeit very frustrating when you lose to the Colorado Rockies, but we got to put those games behind us, man. We absolutely do. It doesn't make sense, but they're a fun-ass team to watch, and when they are clicking, man, it's like, who beats this team when they're clicking like that? And they showed you how they can win. They won a very close game on Friday night against an ace-type pitcher, and then they went out and they did what they had to do against Bryce Elder, who's been scuffling this year. Just keep them out of Petco Park, and I feel like we could win the World Series. Can we play all of our games on the road?
9 runs are great, but I think any discussion of yesterday's game has to start with Yu Darvish.
100%.
And how fantastic he has been since returning from the injured list and the 15-day stint because of the strained neck. He extends his scoreless inning streak to 25 straight innings. That is a career high for a pitcher who has been a very good pitcher for many years. So 25 straight scoreless innings is incredible, 24 of them coming since he came back from the injured list. As Jesse mentioned in the highlight, also his 200th career professional win combined NPB, Japan Professional Baseball, and Major League Baseball. He's only 1 behind Hideo Nomo and 3 behind Hiroki Kuroda for most ever between the 2 combined leagues. And you'd have to figure that he's well on his way to getting there with the way he's throwing right now. He was fantastic, and how important it is to get that kind of start when you know you're going into a doubleheader the next day. The Padres did as much as they could. I thought as much as they could to try to win not just last night, but also put themselves in a better position to win today.
Sure.
By you going deep, by taxing the Braves and getting deep into counts, making Elder throw a ton of pitches, getting him out of the game in the 4th inning. Ray Kerr, who came in and did a nice job of getting through like 60 pitches, but he's completely burned for today. You can't go back to him either. And you got into the bullpen a couple of times late as well. They even had to use a position player there in the 9th inning with the idea that, they need to save some arms for a doubleheader today. So really well-pitched game all around, excellent by the San Diego Padres. But, yeah, it's nice to see offense. It's nice to get off to a fast start with Jake hitting the 2-run home run. They went Rise out, Tatis out, and you're thinking, rolling over in the 1st inning, not a great start, but Profar works the walk, and then, Jake hits the 2-run home run. And so many times it's then easy. Okay, innings. All right, we got our 2 now. Let's that's a great start. Kept going with a 2-out rally after
Loved
that,
it, man.
with Jackson Merrill coming through and delivering that RBI single to make it 3-0. That great play by Manny that was an infield single, but set up the double play. Manny to Kim to Jake to keep it 3-0 and keep the Braves from really ever getting any momentum in the game last night either.
When's the last time we saw Manny go airborne like that? Airborne and it got just right at the tip of his glove, comes down. Obviously, nobody makes that play at first base, but then to actually turn the double play with the shortstop covering, give a perfect feed, spectacular. I know you, Darvish, appreciates that so well. I fall in the camp too of taking you, Darvish, for granted. I really do. He is appointment viewing right now. Hasn't given up a run in how many innings?
25.
25 innings. He is truly, truly incredible right now, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, well, that's you, Darvish, for you. Just like Manny's glove, there's all those things you take for granted. And I guess Jurickson Profar is going to get a knock right now. You just come to expect it because he's been so hot. But what a great, great victory last night on national television, which is a place that we have struggled at times, falling flat on our face on national TV, and I loved it, man. It was a drubbing of the Braves.
Jurickson, not just 1 knock, got 3 more knocks and a walk, raising his OPS on the season to an ungodly 944.
That's unbelievable, man.
And have they started the balloting for the All-Star game? I don't know what your philosophy is, but if you believe in first half production determining who you should vote for the All-Star game, Jurickson Profar should be starting the All-Star game in left field for the National League this year, based on what he's done so far. And it's not particularly close. There are bigger names, obviously, in baseball in the National League in the outfield, but no one has come close to the production of Jurickson Profar. And you kind of wonder, he's got to cool off at some point, but it just seems like every day he's putting together great at-bats from both sides of the plate. He's willing to work his walk, but when he gets his pitch, he's driving it. He's got some authority on the ball. That double that he hit into the corner was absolutely ripped.
Scalded.
He's hit a few home runs, but he also hits for average as well. He is doing everything you'd like to see from a number 3 hitter at the plate, which is why
you just don't move him.
Beyond all reasonable expectations, Jurickson Profar is your 3 hitter right now for the San Diego Padres. He belongs in that spot. It's not, it's because Manny's struggling or Xander's struggling.
No, he's earned it.
No, he's absolutely earned and should be there based on how well and consistently he has performed at the plate this season. He just deserves it.
He's been a marvel. Just straight up, just a marvel to watch. And so I couldn't have been more impressed with the win last night. Obviously, it starts. They talked to David Cohn about it. Coney's the only one on that broadcast I can stand to listen to. He's just so smart and he gets it and never plays favorites. He's just very down the middle on both sides. And when they talked about it, hey, what do the Padres need to do? And he said, look, it starts at the top, and you have of the rotation, and you have performances like you had from you, Darvish, last night. And we will get into Matty Waldron next. But you, Darvish, goes out and sets the tone like that. You're able to score. You're able to play defense behind him. Forget it, man. That's the best version of the San Diego Padres we saw last night. And again, no contribution really with the bat from Manny other than, Nubber he beat out.
Hit 2 hits. Neither of them were hit well.
I think combined exit velo.
Xander's striking the ball well. He had a couple of deep flyouts to Kelenic, including a sacrifice fly, but he's starting to swing the bat a little bit better. You're getting 1-9 though, which is Ha-Seong Kim and Luis Camposano, both your 8 and 9 hitters,
hit bombs,
hit some insurance home runs late in the game. There is certainly the potential for anywhere in the Padres lineup right now to do some good offensively, and those are the kind of offenses that other teams generally don't want to face.
No doubt.
There are dangerous hitters that you're scared of, but I think most pitchers would rather go through a lineup and go, I can work around these 2 guys, and there's a lot of easy outs at the bottom. Padres don't have a lot of easy outs in their lineup.
Think about the Padres last year. You get through the top, you're like, easy, 7, 8, 9, whatever. Grisham, Nola. Those right now, the way everyone's playing, you don't really have that. It's just phenomenal.
All right, when we come back, we'll get to hour number 2. I do want to mention the Padres made an under-the-radar move this weekend. So under the radar that I'd venture to say there are some people in the audience who don't even know that they added a fairly significant veteran name to the organization over the weekend. We'll get to that, play a little Take on Woods. Don't go anywhere. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We were just talking about how Jurickson Profar is performing at an all-star level for the San Diego Padres. If something did ever happen, knock on wood, to Jurickson Profar, the Padres now potentially have a replacement to stick into the outfield, a veteran replacement. In case you missed it over the weekend, the Padres signed David Peralta to a minor league deal. Yeah, the same David Peralta that used to torture him with the Arizona Diamondbacks and then went to the Dodgers last year and, has put up good offensive numbers in his career. He had signed a minor league deal with the Cubs in the offseason, and because they had not called him up, he was able to opt out of that deal, become a free agent again, and he decided to join the San Diego Padres. So, Woods, your thoughts on the move this weekend, adding David Peralta to the Padres organization?
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. These kind of moves can help you. Again, we were talking about it in the dugout yesterday, the Tier 1 game, and people were, lightly semi-excited about it. Like, my quote was, well, if you can't get him out, then just sign him to your team. And I know wasn't really on a team that you had to face, but yeah, man, I mean, you bring in a veteran guy like that, Benny, if somebody does go down. But the funny thing is, the way our roster is constructed right now with the addition of Horizon Solano, and I look at what we have right now and I go, oh, yeah, he's injury only. I don't think you add him to this team as it's currently constructed.
So that was my first thought as well. It's just an insurance policy.
Yeah, but because I like having Tyler Wade there today. If you get the winning run on second base, I mean, we just saw it play out against the Dodgers. Tyler Wade is very valuable off the bench to pinch run. I mean, he very, very much is.
I think the question here, though, is not why did the Padres sign David Peralta to a low-risk minor league deal? Why wouldn't the Padres sign David Peralta? The question is, why did David Peralta sign with the San Diego Padres as opposed to some other team that might have had a more immediate vacancy in the outfield? He was already with the Cubs, a team that is doing well, but wasn't, interested apparently enough in calling him up to use him on the major league level. So what was it about the Padres, I'm curious, that made David Peralta decide of 29 other teams that might have been interested, that the Padres were the one that he chose?
It's a good question, man. I really don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. You'd have to ask David Peralta what he saw in the San Diego Padres. But I was reading on MLB Trade Rumors. It said, look, Peralta figures to offer the Padres veteran depth in the outfield with their severely lacking in reliable options. Tatis locked down right. Profar's off to an incredible start. Jackson Merrill in center. But after that, you've got Jose Azocar as the only real guy that can do it. Tyler Wade can play some outfield in a pinch. But, yeah, man, I mean, having that bat off the bench, if somebody goes down, that's fairly valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think it was a good move by the Padres. I just wondered, does David Peralta know something that we don't?
He signed and was right in the El Paso lineup.
Yeah, had 2 hits on Saturday night in his first game. He's a veteran hitter. Guy knows how to hit. Is he good defensively?
He won a Gold Glove, but that doesn't mean a whole lot.
No, I mean, at this point, I would say he's definitely a minus defender in the outfield. But, the Padres don't have a lot of depth in the outfield. This is something now that if something did happen to someone, gives them another option to call up. Got a lineup in already for Game 1.
Oh, let's hear it.
Of the series against the Atlanta Braves. I will share it to you because I think it is very telling as to the strategy for today. First, though, we need a contestant for Take on Woods. If you want to call in and get online while we read through the lineup, give us a call, 833-288-0973. Need a caller to take on Woods in our musical trivia challenge. 5 questions with a chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas and concert tickets coming up momentarily, 833-288-0973. So here's the lineup for Game 1 of the doubleheader. Luis Arias leading off in the designated hitter. Fernando Tatis Jr. batting second. Jurickson Profar hitting third. Jake Cronenworth at first, hitting cleanup. Manny Machado batting fifth, playing third base. Xander Bogaerts at second base, hitting sixth. Jackson Merrill in center field, batting seventh. Luis Campusano catching, batting eighth. And Ha-Seong Kim, shortstop, batting ninth. It is your regular, normal A lineup with Dylan Cease on the mound in Game 1 against Reynaldo Lopez today.
Exact same lineup as last night.
Do you know what that tells me? Padres are putting all their eggs in let's win the series in the first game basket. And then we'll take our chances with probably a couple of guys getting off their feet in game 2, with Randy Vasquez in the bullpen being asked to take on Chris Sale, who's been fantastic so far. This is an absolute doubleheader in which both teams have targeted one game.
Correct.
I have not seen the Braves lineup, but my guess is that they will give some of their guys the feed off in the early game, and they will load up with Chris Sale in the afternoon in an attempt to make sure that they get at least the split. And both teams, if you're being honest, if you could just say right now, you want to skip these games and just go 1-1?
1-1? Yes.
I bet both teams go done, and the Padres head to the airport to get on the plane for Cincinnati at this moment.
You know, though, I don't know, because Reynaldo Lopez is pretty nasty.
They're running out. I mean, sorry, the Braves are running out their standard.
They got a normal lineup? Okay.
Because he's pretty nasty. So you feel like, Dylan Cease did lose to the Rockies, but not necessarily his fault in the slightest.
There's baseball.
It's baseball.
No guarantee. The Padres are the team that makes the least sense. So, they'll lose this first game and win the next one.
Yeah.
We have no idea. But in terms of at least baseball strategy, it looks like the Padres are definitely
going for it.
Going for it in game 1. See if you can get the series clinched, locked up, and then game 2 would be just gravy. Like, hey, let it loose.
Higgy,
nothing
Sugar,
to lose at this point.
Tyler.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see Kyle Higashioka behind the plate. You're not going to ask Campy to do both games.
What if you lose?
They still think you have to go with, Higgy and some of the backups in game 2. So this is why you're putting your eggs. This is the pressure game. The pressure game for the Padres is game 1. Once you win that, all the pressure is off, and game 2 is simply gravy and going for the mop, as our Cespedes Family Barbecue guys would call it, the 4-game mop of the Atlanta Braves on the road. But you have to take game 1 with Dylan Cease against Reynaldo Lopez.
What I wouldn't do for a mop after we just talked about it the other day.
That game 1 lineup for the Braves, you heard the Padres.
Cap.
Braves are going Acuna in right, Albies at second, Ozuna DH, Olsen at first, Arcia at short, Michael Harris in center, Short at third, Kalenic in left, and Trump catching.
All right, pretty much last night's lineup
Pretty
as
much.
well.
Yep.
So both teams going with their normals, at least in the lineup in game 1 of the series.
We do get to call up an extra player today. No indications of who that's going to be.
I believe that is still the rule. They've changed a lot of rules, but I do believe you get a 27th player on the active roster in a doubleheader. You'd think it's a pitcher, although there's no obvious candidates. Joe Musgrove won't be coming off the injured list until tomorrow. Plus, you wouldn't be using him today anyway, which leaves you with Tom Cosgrove's down there. He pitched yesterday.
Not gone well.
You've got Alec Jacob, who's down there. I don't even know how he's performed lately. Jay Groom's on the injured list. Reese Kinnear's on the injured list. I don't even know who you have left on the 40-man roster that you could call up as a pitcher down there. Jackson Wolf, you just reacquired. I wonder whose locker is set up right now at Truist Park, a name that we didn't see yesterday.
David Peralta, perhaps, even though we do think it's going to be a pitcher. But you got to add some. You got to add somebody to the 40-man and all that. So I have no idea. No idea.
All right, let's take a little break from the Padres talk and get to today's game of Take on Woods. Going to go with Nick today and Take on Woods, which is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Nick, good morning to you. Welcome to Take on Woods.
Good morning. What's up, guys?
All right. If you can beat or tie Woods, we will put you into the drawing for our grand prize getaway. 2 nights at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. 2 tickets to Warrant, Lita Ford, and Paralandra on June 22nd. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million in room renovations. All right, here are your categories to give you a little advantage here. We have In the Year of Our Lord, 5 different songs that include years in the title. Written by Prince. Those are 5 artists, the hits that were actually written by Prince. And our In a Word category returns. In a Word, Nirvana. Those are single-word Nirvana song titles, but I'm not going to ask you about the song. I'm going to give you kind of a trivia question about the word that is the title to the song for those. So In the Year of Our Lord, written by Prince, or In a Word, Nirvana. What would you like to play, Nick?
In the year of our Lord.
In the year of our Lord. All right, Nick, we have 5 questions with 5 different songs that all include years in the title. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. If you miss one or need to pass, we can come back to it if there's time left on the clock at the end. First question is the 2-second song. Paulie's going to play a short clip. You need to give me the title with that year and the artist to score that one. So, Nick, you ready to go?
Yep. Right.
60 seconds.
I need 1 second.
Paulie needs 1 second. By the way, I do have the news that it is Logan Gillespie that was recalled from AAA El Paso as the club's 27th man for today's doubleheader. All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Category in the year of our Lord. Nick, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Oh, we lost Nick.
Oh, Nick is calling back in. All right. Hang on. No wonder no one was saying anything.
Hey,
Nick, we lost you. You back? Hang on. We'll start over again.
Yeah, you hear me?
All right, we can hear you again. All right, here we go. Starting over.
All right.
60 seconds back on the clock. Your time.
You heard the rules, right? You
got the rules. You know how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time begins
Yeah,
when Paul
we're good.
plays the music. Category in the year of our Lord. Good luck, Nick. Let's take on Woods.
Oh, pass.
A documentary about Nostradamus inspired which Prince classic that contains a message of non-nuclear proliferation? Frontman Billy Corgan thought of himself growing up as a 12-year-old when he wrote which Smashing Pumpkins hit 17 years later? Which song by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons is subtitled Oh What a Night? At 20 minutes, which title track by Rush goes down as the longest song ever recorded by the Canadian band?
Oh, my God. This is bad. I should have just stayed off the line.
Go back to the 2-second song. I'm just curious, Nick. Can you think of any song titles that have a year in them at all?
Party Like It's 1999.
That would have been the right answer for the
worked.
Prince question. 1999
perfect.
would have been right. You didn't say it, though, unfortunately. So your score is 0. Summer of 69 by Bryan Adams was the 2-second song. 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. December 1963 by the Four Seasons. And 2112 by Rush. All right, Woods is going to win this one.
Logan Gillespie, by the way.
Yes.
We did learn about that.
Thank you, though.
Found that out.
Thank you for getting on top of that while you were
You're welcome.
out of earshot. All right, 60 seconds back on the clock. Time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Nick.
Oh, that's Summer of 69 by Bryan Adams.
Correct. A
Summer of
documentary
Nice.
about Nostradamus inspired which Prince classic that contains a message of non-nuclear proliferation?
1999?
Correct. Frontman Billy Corgan thought of himself growing up as a 12-year-old when he wrote which Smashing Pumpkins hit 17 years later?
What's the category? Pass.
Which song by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons is subtitled
Oh, 1970.
Oh, What a Night?
Hold on.
I know.
Shakedown 1979.
That's the
Billy
Smashing
Corgan one?
Pumpkins, correct.
Okay,
What a Night by the Four Seasons.
Late December back in 63.
At 20 minutes, which title track by Rush goes down as the longest song?
2112?
Correct. Thank you very much. Woodsy wins 4.5-0. It's December 1963 is the official
Zero?
title.
We had another zero?
Yeah, we had a
Sorry,
zero.
Nick.
Sorry, Nick. Nick dropped off right as we started the game, and then
very
had to
cool.
get back on the line. It was a
It's an
it was a
S show.
choppy game of Take on Woods.
It's all right. We got a short show today. Nobody's
That's all
going to
right.
remember it. Just my dominance. It's fine.
We will come back with a don't and do this, including, of course, because he went deep yesterday. We've got the Korean call of Ha-Seong Kim's home run.
Oh, and we've got radio TV beef in Chicago, and it is juicy.
That's coming up.
Juicy.
That's coming up next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Take on Woods is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. You know where I went yesterday to change my oil?
Instant oil change.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You know how long it took?
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
How badass is it?
I didn't have to get out of my car.
You played on your phone?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
just
great.
sat there, played on my phone.
Yeah.
It was great. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. I even used SoCalOilChange.com to get a discount. $10 off. Just scanned it right off the app on my car. It was really easy.
It's super easy.
SoCalOilChange.com.
Fun, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think there needs to be, you know how colleges sometimes offer like fun elective classes occasionally? I think there needs to be an entire class devoted to Magic Johnson's Twitter account. Someday.
Absolutely.
Just kind of going through the pantheon of Magic tweets. Had another one this weekend that people were enjoying. So Magic was actually congratulating Steph Curry. He won the PWBA, Professional Writers Basketball Association Magic Johnson Award, which is because he's, good with the media, displays grace dealing with media and fans. So he congratulated Steph Curry, and then he added, by the way, Steph Curry, I had fun hanging out with your mom last night at the Sparks home opener. Which he did. He saw Steph Curry's mom and took a picture with her at the Sparks home opener, but just the way it kind of sounded on Twitter, people had a lot of fun with Magic's tweet. So Magic, you might want to edit that a little bit. He has not edited it. He
never does.
Just left it there. Had fun with your mom last night.
Had fun with your mom last night. It's such an insult.
It's hey, congratulations on your award. By the way,
had fun with your mom last night.
The implication is he was making love to Steph Curry's mother last night.
Oh man!
The Magic and Cookie are still together. Everything.
Why
don't worry
don't
about
you just
it.
say ran into your mom last night? So
the
great,
game.
What a
so
lovely
great
lady.
to see her.
Lovely lady.
He followed it up last night with another straight up banger. This is incredible.
This is
11 hours ago.
This is for the midterm exam.
The Knicks' magical run came to an end today. No pun intended. Because the Pacers shot 67% from the field. I have been racking my brain.
Say it one more time.
The Knicks' magical run came to an end today. Open parentheses. No pun intended. Close parentheses. Because the Pacers shot 67% from the field. The Knicks' magical run came to an end today. No pun intended.
That's not a pun. Now,
There
if you
are no
said
puns.
maybe like Orlando's magic run came to an end today.
Correct.
No pun intended. That works. But the Knicks, that's not a pun. There's no pun there.
He just said, no pun intended, guys. I like, what if that was it? I'm not making a pun, so I just worked in. So everything we say,
no pun intended.
Ben and Woods coming up tomorrow, no pun intended. I didn't intend to give you a pun, so I didn't give you a pun.
Fascinating, man.
Fascinating
All right, you
stuff.
have some beef.
Oh, radio
You love
beef.
beef.
I love radio beef. But this is radio VTV beef. So the Chicago White Sox, they lost their beloved TV play-by-play man, Jason Benetti, to the Detroit Tigers, and they replaced him with a guy by the name of John Schifrin. And, new role for him. He's taken a lot of criticism from some local radio guys, the guys on Sports Radio 670, The Score. And they've the new guy comes in and they start picking on him on the air. And he gets a little upset. He's got rabbit ears. So he actually does this during a broadcast. Gordon Beckham is his analyst who used to play for the White Sox. So he flubbed an ad read. So listen to Schifrin's response.
Hey, it's my first game. You're good. Don't worry about it. All good. If any of those radio losers clip it and try to make fun of you, nobody cares about them anyway.
You know what?
Oh, if any of those radio losers make fun of you and clip it, nobody cares about them anyway. So
if any of those radio losers clip it and try to make fun of you, nobody cares about them.
So originally, like if Jesse said that about us, I would laugh because we know Jesse. We have a relationship with Jesse. They're not friendly. 670 The Score, they have been roasting this guy since he got there.
What kind of horrible person would clip someone's audio and then use it to make fun of them later?
Monster. Straight up
What
monster.
would do that?
Monster
I don't know.
would
a good
ever
question.
take just and again, especially a guy just trying to get through it. And he just flubs a few words. Big deal, right? Couldn't be me. So Shane
What did we win? We won something. Here we go. There it is.
Good job, Wizzy.
Good job. Who?
What is it?
What is it? Good job, Wizzy.
There it
That's
is.
Paul pulling audio to make fun of us.
So Shane Reardon, who is the producer, this would be like Paulie. going on Twitter. He says, if any of those radio losers clip that from John Schifrin, yeah, man, we're not going to make fun of Gordon Beckham for misreading a sponsor read. He's a good dude, but we'll for sure make fun of you. And then he says, this guy unloads, this producer. John Schifrin loves to go into the clubhouse and be buddy-buddy with players. After a win, I was told, Tommy Pham told him to calm the F down. We love Tommy Pham. So then he says, I also hate how this dumb business and even dumber team can make you so shallowly care about S that doesn't matter in the least. Then you bring it to Twitter for what reason? A break from all of it would be so good. They are beefing hard. Now, he offered Schifrin, this show had been critical of him. They offered him a chance to come on and visit and get to know each other. He declined. So they've just continued to pound him.
They were ripping him and then invited him on?
Yeah, they've been ripping him and he said no.
Then.
Speaking of missed sponsor reads, don't do this to me, because Don't Do This is actually brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley, not by Valvoline. I was so excited about my trip to Valvoline, I did it twice in a row for Take on Woods and Don't Do This. The Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today, thecrafttaco.com. And don't do this to us, for everyone who's pointing out, obviously, Magic meant the Magic run ended because his name is Magic. That's why there was no pun intended.
I don't.
It's not great.
It's
but
not good.
I guess because his name is Magic, he can say no pun intended.
I don't believe it.
Hey, we told you guys on Friday this was going to be a terrible Ben and Woods show.
Oh, yeah.
Us
So far,
on a 2-hour time limit.
You're a real radio loser.
Sorry.
A real radio loser.
Paul, you can just take all the receipts now and clip them. All right, let's get to some Do This.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
It's one of our promises to you that if we can find it, we will bring you every Ha-Seong Kim home run in Korean. And here was the play-by-play with the Padres already up, 8-0 in the 7th inning when Ha-Seong Kim stepped to the plate.
빠른 볼 돌렸습니다. 왼쪽으로 이 타고 넘어갑니다. 김하성 오늘 경기 쐐기를 받는 김하성의 솔로 홈런.
Solo home run.
Good energy for an 8-0 game in the 7th inning right there.
They ride for that guy, man.
I mean, that's the moments they live for.
Are they ever low energy?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think they are.
Never.
They know, they're going to get between, 10 and 20 of those moments a year. They're going to make them all count
100%.
when Ha-Seong Kim goes deep.
100%.
And that's don't and do this for a Monday, no pun intended.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we'll come back. We haven't really gotten to get into Matt Waldron's performance in Friday's game, the series opener against the Atlanta Braves. Prior to the rainout on Saturday, we'll discuss the surprising win of the series so far in Atlanta. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour of Bennett Woods is brought to you by Prize Picks. Join the biggest moments in sports with Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Yeah, coming off the series against the Colorado Rockies. Not sure there was a more important game that the Padres have played this year than the one they played on Friday in Atlanta with Matt Waldron going to the mound against the red-hot Max Fried. Talk about that surprising victory for the San Diego Padres after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Well, our Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a collision in the North County now, southbound 15 near View Rancho Parkway. Got a couple vehicles involved. They're moving that over to the right shoulder. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So when Friday game started and the Padres immediately gave up runs in the bottom of the first inning, a run in the bottom of the first inning, and it looked like Matt Waldron was going to scuffle against the Atlanta Braves lineup, you just had a pit in your stomach going, oh, this is going to be a fourth straight loss, and now they've got a tough road trip ahead of them. Is this the moment where the season kind of really unravels now, coming off that series against the Colorado Rockies?
Yeah, you definitely thought, too, Waldron's going to last 3 innings, and we are about to torch this bullpen here. And, boy, Brian Snitker taking 15 minutes to try to review that play at third base really helped us. I didn't know what the hell had gone on, but it was a really nice throw. It was a good tag by Manny at third. He slid right through his legs, by the way. Manny tagged him on the leg. They were looking. They're going to challenge it. Oh, you ran out of time, pal. Thank God, because at that point, he probably would have been called safe at that point. It could have been a huge, huge rally in the first inning. They got a gift there, and then they took advantage of it. I did see a lot of panic early about a 1-0 deficit for the San Diego Padres. And listen, Matt Waldron knuckled down. Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. He knuckled down, and man.
Well, that moment that in that first inning, the lack of a challenge may have been the lifeline that Matt Waldron needed to just help him get out of that inning. And after that, he was fantastic. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, a career high 10 strikeouts.
Nasty.
And it was just the second time all season the Padres had won a game that either Matt Waldron or Randy Vasquez had started. Now, did they get a ton of offense against Max Fried? Well, they only ended up with the 3 runs in the 5th inning, but they had 9 hits against Max Fried, who had allowed, I think, 8 in his 4 starts combined total. So getting 9 hits against Max Fried and getting him out of the game in the 5th inning, that was a huge win. And even though they didn't add on, they were able to hold on the rest of the game. And I thought the decision by Mike Schilt, I was so pleased.
Let's just call it the move.
When he decided to go with Robert Suarez in the 8th inning against the top of the Braves lineup.
2, 3, 4, yeah.
Knowing that that's the spot, the most dangerous spot where a 3-1 lead could be lost is against those batters. And he wanted to, hit the righty against the righties and get Ozzie Albies switched over to the left side, which they felt was a better matchup all the way around. And it wasn't a clean inning. He gave up a couple of hits, had runners there, tying runs out on base when he got out of the frame. And then they were hoping, we can add on here in the 9th, and that's great. Or maybe if he has a quick inning in the 8th, we can bring him out for the 6-out save. Didn't work out that way, so they went with Jeremiah Estrada with the 2-run lead in the 9th inning. And what does Estrada do?
Strike out the side, dude. Say it, Donnie.
In the 9th inning.
So
down by way of the can.
Just phenomenal. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. I love to see it. I love that move. I was a little bit panicked there. I did not think they were going to bring Suarez back out again. I really didn't. It was a high-stress inning. He threw more pitches than he wanted to, more pitches than he's used to throwing in his inning. And I was like, please don't be Wandy Peralta or Kolek. Estrada to me, I said, All right. The stuff absolutely plays. He did have 3 saves at El Paso, so clearly he can get the job done. I loved the move. I thought it was great. I think more managers should do that. That's where the game was essentially saved right there. And Robert Suarez picks up the hold, and Jeremiah Estrada picks up the save. A brilliant win. Let's also be honest. When we saw the lineup come out and we saw Crony batting in the 4 slot against a very tough lefty Max Fried, yeah, you're like, oh crap, okay, let's see what we can do. Monster night for Crony, 3 for 5. Profar continued to rake, and just an excellent. Struck out 18 Braves, man, and then scratched out 13 hits off of Braves pitching. All singles, my friend. All singles, just paper cutted them to death.
When you talk about the lineup, moving Crony down to 4th was, to me, not as significant as Manny moving down to the 5th slot, which is a place where he has almost never been seen since coming to the San Diego Padres. He's always been in the top 4 in the lineup.
Pretty much to the big
Or
leagues.
his entire career. Yeah. And it goes to show you the struggles are real, and the Padres are trying something to address it. And, he remained in the 5th slot yesterday. My guess is he's in the 5th slot this morning.
Fifth slot today.
Not going to make a change after winning the first 2 games of the series. So at some point, Manny will work his way out of his slump, and he will need to be back in the top 4 spots in the order. But for now, no problem with Manny Machado batting 5th for the San Diego Padres right now.
He was all smiles last night. Doesn't seem like, he's super upset about it. He knows he's scuffling. He's trying to get it going as well. But yeah, man, that was really something by Waldron on Friday night, man. Really something. And kudos to the Padres hitters for just wearing Max Fried down. Great ABs.
Back to Jeremiah Estrada. When the Padres are looking, I don't even know if they are looking for a true setup man to Robert Suarez. It's been very matchup based with lefties like Matsui and Peralta, or righties like De Los Santos, who's very good against righties but not good against lefties. And maybe Estrada is just another one to add to the mix. But in terms of like the stuff that he's shown, he doesn't have the experience, the massive experience of like a Wandy Peralta. But Jeremiah Estrada is a very intriguing option for more high leverage situations, whether it be in the 8th or the 7th inning. I don't expect to see him in the 9th a lot, except in unusual circumstances like that game against the Braves. You're usually going to be saving Robert Suarez for those spots, but Jeremiah Estrada has shown the ability to get big league hitters out, and he's done it more consistently, really, than anyone in the bullpen other than Robert Suarez this year. So I would expect more high leverage innings for Jeremiah Estrada going forward.
And when one guy steps up like that, it just slots everybody down one, which is good. That's what you want. That's a problem that Mike Schilt really wants to have. And he can play matchups, Benny, in the 6th and the 7th and things like that with Wandy and Enyel and Yuki Matsui. Yuki Matsui started off so well, and he really looked like he had taken the reins on that setup role. Things change, man. Things absolutely change. And I like that they're willing to look at that and go, all right, this probably isn't working right now. But Estrada to step up like that and take that the other night, and for Suarez to put his ego aside and say, where do we need outs? Let me get them.
Well, and notice that Mike Schilt opened his post-game press conference that night with the shout-out to Robert Suarez for doing that, and knowing that ultimately that's going to hurt the back of your bubblegum card a little bit.
100%.
You could get a save in that situation. You could wait for the 9th. It looks better on the resume when you get the saves, but it was more valuable for the team to get him to come into the 8th inning and tried to, massage the egos a little bit to make it all work. And I thought he handled it pretty well for Robert Suarez. Now remember, Robert Suarez isn't, he's not heading toward arbitration.
No.
Trying to get to free agency. He's already gotten his contract. He's locked up with the Padres for 2.5 more seasons after now. So he doesn't really, he's not in a position where he should be saying things like Josh Hader was saying the last couple of years.
You guys want me to do everything. Still have never heard anything like that from a baseball player in my entire life.
Of course, we want to keep Robert in that role, but, man, having a guy like that to come in and do what he did, the bullpen was tremendous tonight. The whole pitching was fantastic.
Just a good sign that he's got a pulse kind of what's going on. And realizes that was a big moment for Robert Suarez to do that in the 8th inning.
It was one of my favorite victories of the year. It really was to beat Max Fried with Waldron, striking out 10 Braves hitters. They look flummoxed all night at the dish, and just can't say enough good things about both wins. And I'd love to see them continue to roll today and get this first one, man.
Now, elsewhere in baseball, just in the world of what makes sense, you could maybe explain the Padres taking 2 or 3 from the Dodgers and now 2 straight from the Braves, sandwiched around that sweep by the Colorado Rockies. Just going, well, the Rockies are just red hot right now. I mean, they're going to beat anybody. And, of course, the Rockies immediately leave Petco Park and get trounced by the San Francisco Giants in 3 games. Outscored 28-10 in the series. Those red-hot Colorado Rockies.
We needed you, man. We needed you bad, Colorado.
Got absolutely destroyed by the San Francisco Giants, who have turned to the youngster Luis Matos in their lineup and trying to get something going after a slow start to the season. They're just, I think, a game or game and a half behind the Padres, as are the Arizona Diamondbacks in what is a tight NL West race. The Dodgers lost the opener to that series against the Reds, but then they won 3 in a row, including a walk-off by Shohei Ohtani. The Reds now get the day off. They went home after yesterday afternoon's game, probably arrived in Cincinnati at a very reasonable time, slept in their own beds, will get an entire day off at home, get to sleep in their beds again, and show up to their home park to face a Padres team that had to play 2 games and get on a flight in Atlanta tonight for tomorrow's game. So the Reds are trying to rebound from a series against the Dodgers. Let's see. The Phillies are just insanely good. They just recorded their 6th series sweep of the season, taking all 3 from the Nationals.
That is insane.
At this point, 6 sweeps. They're 34-14. It's tied for the best start in franchise history.
6.
And they're watching the Padres beat the Braves, and they go, great. We are now expanding our lead in the NL East. And they are just cruising right now, playing such good and consistent baseball at the moment.
6 sweeps already. 6.
You know how many the Padres have?
0.
None.
6 sweeps is it's actually mind bending when you think about it. And it's like, oh, they're only, what are they, 20 games above 500? You said
20 games above 500.
Good Lord. Jeez. Good Lord.
Play 500 baseball the rest of the year, they'd still win 92 games at this point.
That is bananas, man. That is bananas.
I think you can expect to see the Philadelphia Phillies in October.
I think so.
You can write that one down. And I thought the other interesting series of the weekend, the Pirates took 3 of 4 from the Cubs, and that included the sensational second career start for Paul Skenes, who on Friday, it was Friday, right? Went 6 innings, no hits, 11 strikeouts. He's already at 100 pitches, so they're not going to let a rookie go further than that in his second career start. But the stuff was electric. Everything that, the eagerly anticipated debut and then the second start have pretty much been equal or above the expectations of what this electric-armed youngster has been able to do so far for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I actually couldn't believe his pregame. I couldn't believe it. I watched it and I went, "Oh God!" Baseball gods usually listen to things like this. Apparently, they had taken the afternoon off because the young lady asked him, "So they've seen you before, and are you expecting them to adjust?" And Paul Skenes says, "Let them adjust. Good luck." And I went, "Oh, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead." Oh, I finally got my putter figured out. I mean, these are just things you don't say.
And I can't miss.
I can't miss. I cannot miss a putt. You say that on your 4th hole. Guys, look at this putter. It's on fire. The golf gods go, no. And baseball gods typically, to a rookie, also be like, bro, this isn't the time. And he goes out there, he backs it up like a madman. He had those guys lost at the plate. He's so fun to watch. So fun to watch. I don't want to run into him at any time, ever.
Padres will have to run into him sometime probably in the second half of the season when
we miss him.
Play the Pittsburgh Pirates twice in the second half of the 2024 schedule.
It'd be great if we missed him both times. Actually, no, I want to watch him pitch. He's really good.
I do kind of want to watch him pitch as well.
Yeah, he's really good.
Do I want to have to beat him to get into the playoffs?
No, I don't.
No, we will face, we're definitely going to see him. I'm almost positive because in August, we play a 3-game series, the 6th, 7th, and 8th in Pittsburgh. Then we go to Miami for the weekend series, and then we come home on Monday and play the Pirates again. So 6 games against the Pirates in a week.
Yep, we'll get him.
We will definitely be.
You could miss him if he
could pitch that week.
If he pitched the day before that series, then he'd pitch the series between the 2 series and then after the series.
And listen, when's that month, Paulie? What month?
August.
You never know when they're going to shut Paul Skenes down for the year as well, because that's what teams do these days. But I don't know that the Pirates will be in it in August, and that may be the best course of action. But he is certainly fun to watch, man. Never going to get old watching that dude pitch. He commands the zone. He's got electric stuff, and he's got he's all attitude out there as well. So really, really fun.
Yankees remain the hottest team right now in the American League. I think they've won 7 in a row. They just went, the White Sox, but 33-15. So they're hot on the heels of the Phillies for the best record in baseball.
Juan Soto going to be looking to put one off the Pacifico side this week.
Apparently, he's done enough to impress Hal Steinbrenner that he's talking about, is there a way we can sign this guy before he gets to free agency?
I know.
You've been told that he's not doing that. But he's going to free agency.
He went with the same shtick that we heard here of, hey, our
knows
doors
where my agent is.
our doors is always open. You want to come to the table? And I mean, how do you let him go? How do you let him go? If you can afford it, how do you let him go if you're the New York Yankees? You can't.
Maybe you trade him at the deadline and get what you can for him at this point.
Yeah, maybe Michael King, Johnny Burrito, Kyle Higashioka. Would I get that done?
All right, we're already down to our final segment of the day. Get you ready for Padres pregame and Sammy coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away.
All right, normally we're halfway home on a Monday, but we are almost out of here today. Ben & Woods 97.3 The Fan. Got a couple of Padres games for you today, and as I told our beloved Sammy Levitt out in the hallway there, I said, well, one man's pleasure is another man's pain. And I'm feeling very pleasure-filled right now. I'm out of here in 15 minutes. I have a full day ahead. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go volunteer at my son's school. I'm going to watch 2 Padres games. I'm getting my blood work done for my physical next week. It's a full day, and I feel like I actually have time to do it all, and it feels so good. It feels so good, but I do apologize because that means, again, one man's pleasure is another man's pain.
Well, not only that, we were talking about what a great sports weekend it was. The Padres winning twice, Xander Schauffele winning the PGA Championship.
The Tier 1s winning.
All of us are not fans of a basketball team that got eliminated in a Game 7 as well.
Samuel, I'm so sorry.
Yesterday, as Sam Levitt's New York Knicks did at Madison Square Garden against the Indiana Pacers. That one stung.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pacers shot... I mean, they weren't just red hot. They were the hottest any team's ever been in the playoffs shooting. You run into that in a Game 7, there's not much you can do about it.
And the injuries. The magic ran out, and it was almost fitting that Jalen Brunson broke his hand, and that was the final injury, kind of the cherry on top of the injury Sunday because he had carried them for so long. But it's okay. Knicks are, I think, building something pretty special. We'll see. The second game also, Minnesota and Denver. I know Woods loves this NBA talk, but
I'm already gone. I'm in the car already.
I think Minnesota might win the title now.
They may.
Yeah.
That was remarkably impressive to do that, to come back like that in a Game 7 on the road against Jokic. That was...
And they actually play defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got
They won
Anthony
3
Edwards,
games
but yeah.
in the home
Denver.
of the defending champs.
Yeah. Yeah, Boston's still the favorite, probably mathematically, odds-wise, but Minnesota, Woods is just like gone now. NBA talk is here.
I'm happy for you guys.
I knew I could get a little
Woods,
in with Sam in studio.
I think you would like Anthony Edwards.
That's what Paulie said. That's what Paulie said this morning.
He's young. Right. He's confident. He's really, really good.
It's four teams left.
I said if you were going to watch any basketball conference finals,
Edwards may be like the next guy.
Okay. Is he? How long has he been in the league?
He's 22. He's really, really good. He's super confident. If the Timberwolves win the title, all of a sudden he's like the face of the NBA.
He was the one that last week said, I told y'all my MF.
Oh, that's him?
That's Anthony Edwards. Told you we'd be back.
Told y'all MFers we'd be back.
So here's something that both Major League Baseball and the NBA have in common. Baseball has had different World Series champions the last 6 years. Since 2017 when the Astros won, they won again in 2022. But the last 6 has been the Red Sox, Nationals, Dodgers, Braves, Astros, and Rangers. The NBA will have 6 different champions in the last 6 years because none of the teams that are left, the final 4, have won a title in the last 5 years.
Really hard to be a dynasty. It really is hard to be a dynasty.
Unless you're the Chiefs.
In any sport. Yeah, I mean, unless you're the Chiefs. That's a good point. And I guess we're seeing it. Football was always we're parity.
The hardest one.
The
parity league has the
NFL.
dynasty.
And you had the Patriots run. You had, this run by the Chiefs is pretty incredible as well. No, man, I just haven't gotten into it. I did watch some playoff hockey, watch my beloved Dallas Stars eliminate Colorado and move on to the next round. Big hockey fan. In the last, I'll watch like the last 4 minutes or so of games.
Yeah,
which
playoff
hockey's pretty fun. All right, here's a question. Somebody's going to make fun of me for this. So I did watch it. I know they tried years ago with the little
glowing
puck.
Yeah,
I still have
the rocket tail on it.
I still have a hard time following it on television. There's got to be a better angle, view, camera style to make it easier to see, and it probably comes with repetitions, right? Like anything, after a while you pick it up, you know where the puck's going, you kind of have an idea. But I found myself lying in bed going, I can't see it. I don't know what's happening.
What's so interesting to me about hockey, at least on a personal level, is it's by far and away the biggest major sport that I know nothing about. I don't know that I can name 10 current NHL players, which is so weird because I feel like I know people who maybe feel that way about baseball, right? And And we all know baseball inside and out, the players, and,
A lot of Padres fans I saw on Twitter this weekend, I think, would have a hard time naming 10 baseball players. Boy, I showed a lot of restraint this weekend. I really did.
What was the deal this weekend?
The panic, over panicking about.
Yeah, I mean,
one
look,
run in the first. I mean, just panicking.
I mean, it's been a tough team to figure out.
They are. There's no question about it. And I'm not telling people how to fan. I'm just saying, man, like, I've lived that way with this team. You can't do it for your physical and mental health. You cannot live that way with this team. They're inexplicable sometimes. And I think the sooner we realize how inexplicable they are, the better our lives will be. It doesn't mean don't watch. It doesn't mean, you just let it play out a little bit.
Yeah.
Give it a few innings at least to see kind of what happens. But the panic hits, and it's like, I don't know if it's shtick or what, but man, I had to walk away.
I feel like that Mike Schilt's making the right decisions in terms of the pitching matchup for the doubleheader and going forward.
Sure.
But it's worth a quick discussion because they could have gone with Dylan Cease and Joe Musgrove today.
Yeah.
And just and they could have even kept Randy Vasquez down. Joe Musgrove, or with the team, Joe Musgrove could have been the 27th player today, and then they could have sent Randy Vasquez down tomorrow and had Michael King on regular rest for the series. Instead, they pushed Joe back. He'll get activated off the injured list tomorrow and push everybody else back a day in the week in the rotation. I mean, is that the right call for what the Padres are doing?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, what exactly was the reasoning for pushing him back? Because we heard yesterday from Mike Schilt the decision to pitch Cease in Game 1 was just to keep him kind of on schedule because it was supposed to be his day game to start. So I understood that. But you're right. They could have started Joe for Game 2. I haven't heard the exact reason. I would imagine a guy coming off the IL, maybe they just wanted to avoid a situation where, number one, it's a little bit different with the doubleheader, the routine, but also, if let's say Joe can only give you a certain number of pitches, it's a day where you may need a lot of your bullpen. So
but you may need a lot of your bullpen
today anyway. Well, look, I think they are set up, and I said it last night, they're set up really well today just from the series as a whole, where you go into today realizing, hey, if we get a split, we win the series, which I think we'll all take. But also, look, yesterday they had to use Morahone and Kolick. That was it. Braves had to use more relievers. You certainly feel good about Cease in Game 1. And look, if Dylan gives you a good start in Game 1, then you have a situation in Game 2 today where it's like, hey, Randy Vasquez, we don't need 6 innings. Like, give us a good 4.
Although I would say
5.
that because Randy Vasquez is basically the player that you can burn, because you're sending him down almost certainly after the game, that you're going to try to get the maximum number of pitches that you can. Now, I don't know what his max is currently out. He's stretched out a little bit with these last couple of starts, but I mean, you're probably looking at 70 to 90 maybe tops out of Randy Vasquez, but you're going to want to get that because he's the guy that you're not counting on tomorrow in Cincinnati because he's going to be on his way to El Paso probably after the game, win, lose, or draw. This is a one last shot appearance for Randy Vasquez, so they're going to use him as much as they can in Game 2 to try to spare their bullpen as much as possible because they have 10 more games in 10 days coming up after today. In the doubleheader, there's no days off, so they got to be a little bit careful about their bullpen usage.
Now, are they playing the game too, where they're like, look, I always will submit they have a plan, and it's not haphazard, right? They've poured over the information. They may just like Michael King against the Reds better than they like Michael King against the Braves. They may like Joe Musgrove, to set up a little bit better against the Cincinnati Reds. There's a reason behind it. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We can speculate all we want. It sets them up for a better rotation, I think, against the Yankees, too. They don't really play too far ahead, but I think in instances like that where you have a rainout, you have a doubleheader, you kind of have to. You kind of have to rejigger some things, and I think that's what they're doing. But I submit that they have a plan for this thing, and hopefully, if Dylan Cease goes out and executes like he's capable of, you win the series going away today. And Randy Vasquez, hey, man, go out there and have some fun. Go out there and Tyler Wade and Sugar, good luck against Chris Sale and have fun and see what you can do.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we just talked about it off air in the hallway like an hour ago. You don't want to put the cart before the horse, but if you can win Game 1 today, then game 2 does become a little like gravy because, if you can sweep the series, awesome. If you can get through it with Randy Vasquez and getting some guys off their feet. But again, you can't possibly worry about that right now because you could also lose game 1 and
Correct.
then you're
Then
you're going for, you could end up splitting if today doesn't go well. So, but a game 1 win today would feel really good.
Oh, it'd be phenomenal to go in there and take the first 3 from them. And
and
you will have people that say every game's important, and I totally get it. But you also cannot play this doubleheader today like it's game 6 and 7 of the World Series. You just can't. I mean, game 1, you want to be aggressive? Hell yeah. You got to lead late? Be aggressive. Chris Sale's pretty nasty. No one likes to think of punting a baseball game, but you have to be smart about the way you handle your team through 162. I mean, the grind of it must be excruciating for all the people that holistically come up with the game plans for this team and every team. Every team goes through this at some point this year. So listen, man, these guys are big leaguers. Randy Vasquez is a big leaguer. He's got something to prove as well. Go out there and prove it. Play defense behind him. Get a timely hit or two. Weird stuff happens. No more weird stuff happens with any other team than it does this team. So, again, don't be surprised if they lose game 1 and then beat Chris Sale somehow. They're weird. They're a weird baseball club that we love.
Last couple items of business here. This hour on Bennett Woods is brought to you by Prize Picks. Join the biggest moments in sports with Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Also, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, the Yankees coming to Petco this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come out, support the Padres when they return from their current road trip. Tickets are still available for this weekend series against the Yankees at Padres.com/tickets, and it should be, it's Cease, Musgrove, Darvish, or Darvish, Cease, Musgrove, I think, for the weekend series against the Yankees if they stay on rotation.
Yeah.
So you get a pretty nice pitching lineup against the team that's been the tops in the American League coming to town this weekend. And hopefully Joe can come off the injured list the way Yu Darvish came off the injured list and is still going with 25 now consecutive scoreless innings after just the brief 2-week reset. Joe will have that opportunity starting tomorrow, and then hopefully he'll get stretched out a little bit for his second start this weekend against the New York Yankees at Petco Park.
Yeah, look, Darvish has been unbelievable. I mean, what a development that is. And to Ben's point, if you can get Musgrove going that way, and then you have Cease, and hopefully Michael King can, we get that version of Michael King we've seen a handful of times that can be really dominant. Look, of anything with this team, we can talk about Manny and Bogarts and the big guys and Fernando all really getting going at once. But I think you can very much argue it would be equally as important, beneficial for the top 4 in that rotation. If they can roll turn after turn after turn, it's a good spot. No doubt.
Cincy is a really good place to hit. It's a good place to hit for some of these guys. So looking forward to, you can't look past today, though. Got 2 games. What's the time? What's the lag between the 2 games? Like 3 hours?
It's like an hour and a half or so. Yeah.
I mean, might be a little bit longer.
Well, yeah, it's 2.5 between games. An hour between Sammy's post-game show and his next pregame show.
Post-game number 1 is going to be quick. Rumor is Chris Ello is going to come in and fill some amount of time between post-game 1 and pre-game 2 today.
Give Sammy at least an opportunity to get some lunch.
9:20 first pitch for game 1. Figure the game goes 2.5, 3 hours, and then game 2 starts at 3:20 first pitch.
Yeah, could be like an hour or so break.
I don't know, if you're the players, do you leave the park and come back? Do you just stay there for 4 hours in the clubhouse?
Absolutely.
Where are you gonna go?
They have everything.
Get a massage, an ice bath,
food.
They
have clubbies
Leave.
to go.
Where are you going to go? Back to your
get
hotel?
whatever they want.
No. You probably already checked out of your hotel.
Yeah, you are.
All right, that's it, Sammy. Eco Water SoCal pregame show is coming up next. Tripoli and Woods will be back for the full 4 hours tomorrow at 6 here on 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.